Baby boomers are now making up the majority of the buyer population.
You're definitely going to want to watch this one.
Shocking news coming out of the 2022 home buyer reports that are now being released by NAR. And what we've seen is that baby boomers have ascended to the number one spot. They make up 38% of all the people who bought a home in 2022. That's up 10% from the previous year. And what we know is that baby boomers, based on how generations are categorized, are folks anywhere in their mid to late 50s to mid to late 70s, depending on who's judging. There's always a little bit of a gray area around those cutoffs. And they have displaced millennials, who dropped 15% and made up 28% of all the home buyers in 2022. And those are folks that are anywhere in their mid-20s up to very early 40s. Typically, the cutoff's right around 40 to 42. So this is a change. You know, we've heard nothing but millennial buyers. They make up a large part of the population, and they did. Millennials still make up the highest segment of the population right now, although baby boomers make up 1/7 of the world's wealth. So what this all tells me is that now we're seeing all these folks that were dug in, that weren't moving, and this is the baby boomer generation. And now they're starting to think about, hey, you know what? I'm going to jump in the market, not because I have to move, not because I've got too many kids or because I'm outgrowing my current home or I didn't own a home in the first place. They're saying, hey, you know what? I want to move now. I want to cash out on my property. I want to get into a place and maybe buy two homes and trade in my larger home for a vacation property as well as a local smaller downsize. I've seen that case study and those anecdotal examples constantly, especially here in the greater Philadelphia area. We've seen folks trade in their 4,000 square foot homes and buy a property on the water in Maryland and buy a townhome a couple minutes away from where they used to live. So maybe they're going second home and a downsize move. So this is a bit of a change from what's happened in the market. And here's what this means for people that are thinking about transacting. If I'm a home buyer right now and I'm a baby boomer and I'm sitting on a ton of cash, I'm going in ready to waive my financing contingency to be more competitive because we're still seeing inventory levels in the suburbs less than 2 months. And in Philadelphia, obviously, it's a bit higher in that 4 plus or minus month range of inventory. So if I'm a baby boomer, I'm going in ready to get aggressive on terms that sellers will like, because not having an appraisal contingency, since your offer is cash, can be really valuable. Now, if I'm a millennial home buyer, someone that has a financing contingency, I'm getting creative. I'm looking at companies like Tomo Mortgage Network that will cover the appraisal gap if you're putting 10% down on a conventional loan. If you need an introduction to Tomo, let us know. We've got the connection. I'm looking at how I can get my loan entirely underwritten and have it fully committed. This is a big difference between a pre-approval where they just look at your credit and your income. This is a fully approved loan subject to an appraisal. I'm looking for lenders that can give me desktop appraisals over the phone, not having to send an appraiser out. I'm looking at how can I waive contingencies? Am I bringing an inspector with me to all my showings or the homes that I'm really serious about so I can get more competitive that way? Because when you're sitting on cash as a buyer, you've got a lot of leverage, and that's going to carry heavy in this market. So the folks that don't have a lot of cash, all the more reason you want to talk to a local agent who is a knowledge broker in the market and can educate you on ways to compete with your offer. Now, on the seller side, if I'm one of these people that wants to move up and I have a smaller home, because boomers are downsizing, that's the reality of the situation. If I've got that home where I maybe have the ability to move up, I might take a chance and get my home on the market now without having a place secured. I know it's risky. I know it's stressful. And I would line up some temporary housing so I can get my home sold and be a more competitive buyer when it comes to acquiring a new home for my household or my family. And these are strategies that a local agent and a knowledge broker should be able to walk you through. Seeing this shift is massive because now the playing field has changed. Now you've got high cash buyers, highly leveraged, well-qualified financial buyers coming into the marketplace, and they can do things that folks that are limited in their finances because of where they are in life, how much they've saved, all those sort of things, aren't able to do. And when these things happen, it's critical you find an agent who can walk you through all these strategies, whether you're a potential seller looking to move up, a seller looking to move down, a buyer who's a first-time buyer competing with some of these boomers because they compete for the same properties. Think about a townhome, a condo, a small single-family home that's one floor. That's stuff that boomers may be attracted to, and that could compete with first-time home buyers and especially millennial home buyers. So when the playing field changes, you got to know your competition and make sure you have someone that understands that to give you winning strategies. So all the more reason, get in touch with someone. And if your agent is quick just to show you homes, make sure you're sitting down and having a strategy session or a planning meeting with them to get educated about things like this. So when you do find the right home, or you do want to sell your home so you can find the right home, you're getting the right strategy that's going to make your decision a financially savvy one that ends up helping you win in the current market.